and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV's News Prime, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has launched the Renewed Hope conditional cash transfer for 15 million households. The launch was held at the Press Gallery of State House in Abuja on Tuesday. Coinciding with the World Poverty Eradication Day, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, represented the President at the event. The President had in his maiden Independence Day broadcast to Nigerians on October 1st, 2023, announced the cash transfer program, which is said would target vulnerable citizens. The 15 million household, according to Humanitarian Affairs Minister, represents 62 million Nigerians. She said that the sum of 25,000 would be transferred to the beneficiaries on a monthly basis for 3 months, which amounts to 75,000 for each of the beneficiaries. The minister also disclosed that in no distant time, another scheme would be launched called name Iyaloja Funds, which would provide soft loans of 50,000 naira to support petty traders. In addition, at the beginning of the next farming season, she said that farmers would be provided with incentives to boost their farm yields. So the federal government has announced its readiness to commence the payment of 9 months backlogs to Empower beneficiaries who are on the program beginning from November. It announced this on Monday through the Empower National Program Manager Akindele Ebuwalu, who disclosed this during a meeting with some Empower beneficiaries at his office in Abuja. Ebuwalu, in a statement issued by the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, stated that the main purpose for the temporary suspension of the program was to address all matters directly affecting beneficiaries. He said the Empower program would continue as the Renewed Hope Job Creation Program under the supervision of the Humanitarian Minister. Ebuwalu said the scheme would be expanded to target 5 million beneficiaries in 5 years, where 1 million youth would be absorbed each year under the graduate and non-graduate stream. Still, the Federal Executive Council, FEC, has proposed a sum of 26.1 trillion naira for the 2024 fiscal year to be submitted to the National Assembly. The government said it was working towards ensuring that the January to December budget cycle is maintained, that the 2024 budget is passed and signed before December 31st, 2023. The Minister of Budget and Planning, Atiku Bagudu, made the disclosure at the end of council meeting presided over by President Bola Tinubu at the council chamber presidential villa in Abuja. Briefing State House correspondent at the end of the FEC, Bagudu said council has approved the 2024 to 2026 medium-term expenditure framework (MTEF) and fiscal strategy papers (FSP). He explained that the executive is required by the Fiscal Responsibility Act to present to the National Assembly ahead of the budget's presentation, a document which will provide a medium-term economic outlook for the economy. The Senate on Tuesday afternoon abruptly halted its scheduled proceedings for the day and went into an emergency closed-door section. The development ordered by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio followed a walkout from the chamber for the chief whip of the Senate, Senator Muhammad Ali Ndume, after Akpabio ruled him out of order. Ndume had cited Order 54 of the Senate standing orders to raise a point of order on the way and manner Akpabio was directing the proceedings of the Senate. He drew the attention of the Senate President to his handling of affairs in the chambers, which he said were not in consonance with the rules. At this point, Akpabio interjected and called for a copy of the Senate standing orders. He proceeded to read Order 54 and said it did not support the point Ndume was making, and thereafter ruled the principal officer out of order. Upon the action of the Senate President Ndume, who was visibly angry, packed his files and papers on his desk and stormed out of the chamber and went straight to his office. The chief whip was just settling down when he received a call from a colleague to return to the chamber for an executive section. The governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum, on Tuesday ordered the demo against terrorism and other illicit activities around Maiduguri metropolis. Within 72 hours, although it was not clear the agency's Borno Urban Development Agency or Borno Geographical Information Service to carry out the demolition. He gave the directive during to one of such locations, Abayan Quarters, a settlement around railway staff quarters in the metropolis. The area harbors gangsters, criminal activities, and the use of minors for commercial sex activities. The governor expressed concerns over the rise in criminal activities associated with these illegal brothels and criminal dens, including prostitution, drug peddling, and other illicit operations. He noted that these activities not only pose a threat to the security of the state, but also perpetuate social voids and that undermine the well-being of communities and the dignity of the individuals involved. The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, having a meeting with a delegation of aggrieved lawmakers of the Ondo State House of Assembly and members of the Reconciliation Committee set up to douse tension over the planned move to impeach the state deputy governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa. The delegation, which arrived at the APC National Secretariat at about 1:25 p.m. in a large convoy, was accompanied by looking security operatives. Meanwhile, the development is coming 8 days after Ganduje established the committee to resolve the political impasse between the warring parties, among other things. The committee was tasked to interface and engage with all contending partners to gather facts and circumstances surrounding the lingering impeachment process of the Ondo State Deputy Governor. He, however, advised the party on the most amicable ways of handling the lingering issues and make necessary recommendations to the party on resolution of issues and any other matters that may come up in the course of the assignment. Meanwhile, the Ondo State Consciousness Movement has condemned the continued absence of the state governor Rotimi Akeredolu from office and the prolonged disagreement between the governor and his deputy Lucky. The group also described a proxy war that is disrupting the lives of the Ondo State people. Recent move by the Ondo State House of Assembly to impeach Aiyedatiwa while also condemning the selling of the People's Democratic Party Secretariat in the state over a planned protest by some youth. The Ondo State Consciousness Movement rises with stern resolve to condemn the action of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu and his agents for interfering with the constitutional rights of the people to peaceful assembly and protest against perceived societal wrongs, jeopardizing good governance and the well-being of its citizens. The new Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC, Aisha Rimi, has pledged to advance Nigeria's economy through strategic investment promotion. Rimi made this pledge during our opening address after resuming an NIPC headquarters on Monday in Abuja. In a major reshuffling last Friday, President Bola Tinubu approved the appointment of a new lineup of leadership for 12 agencies and parastatals under the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. According to a statement by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Anjarin Galali, the move aligns with the President's resolve to base Nigeria's economic revival on the foundation of trade expansion through small, medium and large-scale industrial facilitation in Nigeria. As well, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, the National Veterinary Research Institute, the Niger Delta University Teaching Hospital, the Pandemic Sciences Institute of the University of Oxford, the United Kingdom Public Health Rapid Support Team, and stakeholders in Lagos and Rivers State on Monday launched a multidisciplinary research project to address the acknowledged gaps in monkeypox. The MPOS Research Project, Epidemiological and Clinical Investigation of Monkeypox in Nigeria, a multidisciplinary research project to inform case management and outbreak prevention as well control, will also help to improve the public health response to the monkeypox virus in Nigeria and beyond. You're watching Global TV's News Prime, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes Channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using the Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. When the News Prime returns, United States Department of Agriculture and farmers collaborate to scale Nigeria's cocoa value chain. The news continues shortly after the short break. Please don't go away. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, the Still Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Prime. 9 Russian helicopters has been destroyed by Ukraine on the Eastern Front early Tuesday, deploying longer-range missiles recently provided by the U.S. government for the first time. The attack, dubbed Operation Dragonfly, targeted Russian forces in occupied battalions on the Sea of Azov, as well as an airfield in Luhansk in the Donbas region. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed in an evening address that his forces had used the long-range ATACM Army tactical missile system, saying the weapon executed very accurately and have proven themselves. In addition to the Russian helicopters, Ukraine Special Operations Forces claimed that a Russian anti-craft missile system and ammunition warehouse were destroyed and runways were damaged. Losses in the enemy's manpower amount to dozens of dead and wounded bodies still being pulled from the rubble. Still on the foreign scene, President Joe Biden will make a landmark trip to Israel Wednesday, a show of ironclad support as Washington tries to prevent the escalating war in Gaza from spilling over into regional conflict. The trip comes just days after Gaza-based Hamas fighters broke through Israel's heavy fortified border, shooting, stabbing, and burning to death more than 1,400 people, more of them civilians. Shell-shocked Israel has responded with withering airstrikes on Hamas-controlled Gaza and by deploying tens of thousands of troops to the border in preparation for a full-scale ground offensive. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Biden's visit would be a statement of solidarity with Israel and an unclaimed commitment to its security. Washington has already sent 2 aircraft carried strike group to the Eastern Mediterranean to deter hostile actions against Israel. As well, police in Brazil have shot dead the man who killed 2 Swedish nationals on Monday evening. The 45-year-old man named Adesalam was shot in a cafe in the Skärbrik neighborhood. 2 Swedes were killed and a third seriously injured in the automatic rifle attack. It took an boulevard press 5 kilometers, 3 miles from the stadium where Belgium was playing Sweden to qualify for the European 2024 football tournament. Brussels has been on its highest terror alert ever since. The gunman is believed to be a Tunisian man who was in Belgium illegally after his asylum application was rejected in 2020. He posted a video online saying he had killed people in the name of God, and the prosecutor's office believes it was inspired by the Islamic State IS group. Belgian Interior Minister Annelies Verlinden said the automatic weapon found on him was the same as the one used in Monday's attack. Prime Minister Alexander De Croo called Monday's shooting a harrowing act of terrorism in a press conference, and prosecutors said the victims were probably targeted because they were Swedish. Let's take a look at business news. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana has disclosed that the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, only printed 402 billion to replace the about 3 trillion naira old banknotes withdrawn from circulation during the currency design policy in the early part of 2023. Falana said he relied on the Provision Freedom of Information (VOL) Act to obtain details about the amount of currency printed and management of the implementation process. Recall that the CBN had said it redesigned the higher denomination of banknotes to check counterfeit and vote buying during the 2023 general election. The situation put the country in currency strain before and during the election. Falana said during the currency scarcity period, when some people collapsed and others died while on queues to get cash at various banks, with some banks attacked and burned by frustrated bank customers, the CBN failed to show sympathy with Nigerians. The United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, including stakeholders and the Nigeria cocoa farmers, have concluded plans to come together in Abuja this week in a move to address the prevalent socio-economic issues amid the sustainability of Nigeria's cocoa industry. The event, which is the second edition of the National Cocoa Festival, will bring together local and international cocoa industry stakeholders to diverse, pragmatic approaches that can move the sector forward towards sustainability and return Nigeria back to being a leading cocoa producing origin country as it was in the 60s. The USDA, through its Food for Progress program, will also launch its Traceability and Resilience in Agriculture and Cocoa Ecosystem of Nigeria TRACE project with the implementing lead organization Let's Run World Relief and other partners. There is a significant need for collective action to upscale Nigeria cocoa sustainable production in order to meet demand, which includes improving its traceability. And now in sports, Super Eagles coach Jose Peseiro is pleased to have ended the country's 4-year winless run in friendly games following a side 3-2 win over 10-man Mozambique on Monday, but he was quick to express his displeasure at his players' performance in the wake of the victory. Peseiro blamed his side for losing concentration during the game and not being clinical in front of goal. Genti Katamo scored the opening in the 6th minute after he ran in between the Eagles centre-backs to poke the ball into the net after goalkeeper different direction. The Mambas were pegged back at the 19th minute, and when Terry Murphy struck the equalizer despite numerical advantage, Mozambique reduced the deficit in the 55th minute through Fisco Banga, a goal that left Peseiro disappointed. And for more updates on sports, let's now join Sharon Ajay.
Kenyan marathon runner Titus Ekiru has been banned for 10 years. The Athletics Integrity Unit, AIU, on Monday said the ban is for both doping and tampering in a case that involved collusion with a high-ranking doctor in a Kenyan hospital. The ban comes after an investigation found the 31-year-old obstructed the AIU's probe into 2 adverse analytical findings by using false information and documentation. His ban runs from the date of his provisional suspension on June 28, 2022 until June 27, 2032. His results on and since May 16, 2021 have been erased, and he must forfeit all race prizes and money. UFC heavyweight champion John Jones believes that former middleweight champion Israel Adesanya is doing the right thing by taking a break from mixed martial arts. The last tie-bender, as he is widely known, announced on Friday that he plans to take an extended break from competition following a disappointing loss to Sean Strickland at UFC 293. In an upset, Strickland soundly outstruck Adesanya over the course of 5 rounds, putting an abrupt end to Adesanya's second reign as middleweight champion. When Adesanya will fight again is undecided, but he will be sure to want a return similar to the one Jones had when he makes a comeback. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
And that's it on Global TV News Prime, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Once that's on channel 276, kindly follow us across our social media platform using our Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you again. Have a great evening.